Alright, today what we're going to be doing is looking at short-run aggregate supply in the Phillips curve and how they mirror one another when they make their shift. Last time we looked at aggregate demand and how that caused a movement on the short-run Phillips curve. Okay, what I want you to do for your warm-up though is fill out sig x and what happens to short-run Phillips curve along with the shifters of aggregate supply. You should be able to do both of those without looking at anything, so I'm not going to do them, and I'll zoom in so you can take a look and freeze to check your work. Try and look away from it and see if you can do it from memory, because you got to memorize this stuff. Okay, so short run supply, there's all those right there. You can pause those and check them both out and check your work. All right, so now let's move on. Unpause if you probably already did, because you can hear me. Here's the aggregate supply and demand. I went ahead and drew that out so you don't have to watch me draw. You can pause it and finish and set up and then unpause it and go. Makes for shorter videos, doesn't it? Okay, so we have everything set up and labeled like they told us to. Now something in PIG, productivity, input prices, inflationary expectations, government action, increases or makes businesses able to produce more stuff, more supply. So we're going to have an increase, and we know there's an increase in short run supply that's going to shift to the right. Okay, so when short run supply shifts to the right, that's going to create a new short run supply. I'll label it as short run supply, make my right arrow, and wherever short run supply crosses aggregate demand, that's going to create a new point of short run equilibrium. So with the same amount of stuff, and more stuff and the same amount of demand as in people wanting it, that makes a surplus. And at a surplus store, the prices are cheaper, right? So I'm going to have my new price labeled as P1, and then my new output level as Y1 with all my arrows to show me what happened right there. So we have more GDP, and I know if people are making stuff, that makes the unemployment rate go down. And if prices decrease, that makes inflation go down. So GDP goes up, that means we're at work making stuff, so unemployment goes down. Now let's set up our long run and short run Phillips curves and see how that mirror is going to work. I try to keep these about the same level, and you won't be asked to draw them both side by side, but if you need help solving it, then that would obviously help kind of locate where these lines should be in kind of the mirror look. That's it. Alright, so now I got my short run Phillips curve, my unemployment, and my inflation rate. And I've seen more people saying IR, but that's still inflation rate or pi, either one works. So I got my current inflation rate, which is basically where prices are. And remember, this is at the natural rate of unemployment. So now, anytime we have an increase or rightward shift of supply will be a left shift of the short run Phillips curve. So if this thing is going to shift to the left, then that's going to show me where these new points should be. Okay? And whenever I do this, I got to keep this same price level and level of unemployment. So I'm going to move this thing to its left, have SRPC1. I got my new short run Phillips curve. Okay? So now when I look at this, I know price level dropped, and I know that unemployment decreased. So if unemployment is decreasing, that's going to be this way, isn't it? So if unemployment is decreasing and we have a lower price level, that price level is going to be located at a different spot on the Phillips curve. So where that mirror is, if I look at it, this one makes a little triangle, doesn't it? This one makes a little triangle. So that's my right shift. This is my left shift. So now I'm going to be down and to the right. Down and to the left, because I was right here, so now I need to be at probably a point. I mean, it can be anywhere. If it's there, it's okay. As long as I'm showing that I had my unemployment rate or GDP reflection right there. So now I show that I had the same things happen. Price level went down, inflation went down, GDP went up, so unemployment decreased to the left right here. Okay, so now I've shown my kind of mirror image, and that's how we can solve short run Phillips curve based on changes in aggregate supply.